Welcome to the Nintendo Dads, episode 469, recorded on March 14th, 2024. On this week's episode, Justin shows his diva colors, Marty avoids going to Oz, Jesse falls asleep, and Tim tries not to cry. Jesse, you know what to do.
What is up, everybody? It's episode 469. It is March the 14th, 2024, and I'm currently in the path of severe storms. Hooray. I hate storms. Ever since I saw...
Oh, I love storms. I just don't, as long as we're not in the middle of it. They can go around us and it's fine.
The very traumatic story of being a 16-year-old boy, already kind of nervous about storms. And my parents took me to see Twister live in the theater. Why they did that, knowing that I was deathly afraid of tornadoes. I guess they thought it would break my phobia. It did not, because as we got out of the theater that night, guess what? Tornado freaking warning. And I really, after seeing Twister, thought we were going to die that night. But hey,
and they're making a new movie.
That's right, and I'm going to see it because it's going to be good. I like that movie now. Now, here's the deal. Even though I'm in the path of severe weather, we are here to give you the best of us. We're going to give you all of us. And some Nintendo news, too. Joining me on the show this week, Mr. Tim Off. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to share some stuff later on that I learned this evening, why we're running late this evening. One of the reasons, but I'm excited, of course, to hang out with you guys and talk some of the stuff we've been learning throughout the week. So good friend of the show, Michael Burgett, just sent me a message that said as soon as I said storms, his power flickered. Nice. I didn't know I had that power. Storms. Unlimited power. Speaking of unlimited power, he's the man that provides the show with unlimited power. Over there pushing the buttons on the ones and the twos, Mr. Jesse Waldock. How are you, buddy?
I've been pretty exhausted all week. We do our releases Tuesdays and Thursdays on the weeks we do releases, and there was a release on Tuesday that didn't go well, so they woke me up and took about 2 hours to get things up and running again. And it's messed up my sleep schedule for the entire week.
Not only did they wake you up, but the government stole an hour of sleep from us this week.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I was fine with that, though. I was prepared for that.
Oh, I was not. I knew it was coming, and it hit me. It hit me like a Hulk Hogan leg drop.
No, I did have to explain things to my son in brutal detail about how it works, so he wouldn't be late for his 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock work.
Just let your phone wake you up. It does it automatically now. It's the best thing.
But he doesn't set an alarm, and I told him, listen, he sets a timer.
I grew up in the 80s where us Neanderthals had to go around the house and set all the clocks forward, before we went to bed, or it was going to screw us all up the next morning. And so I get it.
He sets a timer, so he had to set the timer for an hour less than he normally would.
If he just sets a timer, why doesn't he just set an alarm?
I don't understand. I don't know. I told him to set both.
I mean, Matthew, we love you. We love you. You're great, but it's time to learn to set an alarm. Anyway. Speaking of alarms, we've got some stuff to talk about in the news this week, so why don't we head on over and do that, shall we? And of course, our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you can make a huge difference in the life of Nintendo Dads. You keep the lights on here at Nintendo Dads HQ. You keep things rolling. You make sure we have all our stuff. But
till the storms roll in.
Till the storms roll in, right? And until the end. If you love us more than $1, you can give us $5 a month and get access to all of the sub channels in our Discord. You can see all the shenanigans in the adulting and collecting subchannels. There's a wrestling one. There's games. There's Dadposium that they talk about beer and all kinds of stuff. And I mean, it's great. It's great. And and the best part of the Nintendo Dads Discord is you two can come in and mess with Mecha. That's the best part of the whole thing. And so for $5 a month, you can see all of that. $10 a month gets you pre and post show audio, and $30 a month gets you on the show as a Patreon producer. So head on over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, sign up today. And you know what? If you sign up today, we will send you a picture of Justin's third nipple. just for patrons who sign up today, though.
Okay, so we've been on air for 6 minutes, and I already had to ban someone from Twitch chat. So good job.
Fantastic. That's
We made it. We made it.
Why are you the way you are? Why? Anyway. I don't even want to know what they said. It was probably vulgar and disgusting and terrible.
No, it was spam.
They're trying
go to this website and get all this extra tools. I'm like, no.
Can I just say, speaking of...
I don't know how to use the tools available to me. I don't need new ones.
Speaking of being on the stream, we want to say hi to all of our friends over on X, as we are now streaming live on X every time that we stream. So our podcasts, our live stream game sessions, all that will now be broadcast on X as well. So you have 4 options to watch us when we live stream. That's Facebook, that's Twitch, that's YouTube, and X. So enjoy. Fancy. It's good stuff. Yeah, it's very fancy. I love it. Anyway, let's get into the news. Here we go.
Mikey says, I'm an old man. I still call it Twitter. So do I.
Well, I'm trying to make myself say X, but I want to say Twitter. My head says X. My heart says Twitter. Right. So that sounds like a documentary or something. Anyway, in the news this week, Mario Day, otherwise known as just March 10th, saw some pretty big announcements from Nintendo. Of course, it being on a Sunday, it wasn't probably like a normal Mario Day celebration.
All in like a 2.5 minute video.
Yeah, I don't know what a normal Mario Day celebration is like, although I would like one. I would like to do that. So it's a big day. Nintendo has recognized that this can be a big day, and they've tried to do some different things each year since it's kind of come into its own thing to kind of pump this up and make it a big deal. I think the biggest announcement that came out of this was that the Super Mario Brothers movies sequel is now in production with Illumination. This is the first announcement or confirmation that we've had. Probably should have thought that this was already happening, right? Like we could have guessed. But Miyamoto-san himself took over the tweet machine and mentioned that it is now in development. The planned release for this is April 3rd, 2026. Jesse, hit that Price is Right,
Is this one?
Yeah, that's a long time. I'll probably be dead by then. I don't know. But anyway,
considering they're still in the drafting stage, 2 years is kind of impressive if they can hit it.
I'm gonna wager a guess here. They're probably using some of the same assets.
Oh, they're definitely using some of the same assets.
It looked incredible anyway. Why do like all I need them to do? Look here. Look, let's write the Mario movie sequel. Here it is. It is Mario 2. I need Wart. I need Mouser. I need Clawful. I need Fry Guy. I need Shy Guys. I need Ninja. I need all of that. I need the bird door that swallows you and takes you to the next level. I need those things. I need Mario
what's the 3-headed snake one called?
Oh, Triclide. Yeah, Triclide and Fanto. I need all of that.
Fanto will be awesome.
But here's the thing, you're not going to get that. You know why? Because
that's what we want.
Number 2, because they've already set that up. It's coming. Mario 2 is going to have Yoshi, and that's going to be a big plot MacGuffin. Although I'll say this, I hope what they don't do is make the Cars 2 era where they make the entire sequel about the secondary character, a la Cars 2, making it all about Mater, and it was boring and stupid, and then course correct for 3 and make it about Lightning McQueen again. All right, so Miyamoto-san, I know you're listening, and we know you are, because we know as of today, let me tell you what we know. This is fact. This is cold hard fact. Tim, am I right about this, what I'm about to say? This is cold hard fact. Xbox has been talking to Nintendo about us. We have the email proof.
Yep.
Phil Spencer, we know that you're a Nintendo Dads fan. We know it.
Phil had to reach out to Doug. It's like,
Yep.
hey, you know those Nintendo dads over there. Is it okay if we send them over
Yep.
a code?
And Doug was like, yeah, sure. Be fine. Those are good boys. They're good boys over there. They're good boys. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But now, so April 3rd, 2026, good friend of the show, Beer Cerveza, asked us this. I'll let you guys answer this. Now that we have a hard date for the Mario Brothers sequel, when do you think we'll get a release date for the live action Zelda movie? Do you think it will be released before or after the Mario Brothers sequel?
After.
I think it'll be after.
Yeah, it'll be after.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also, like, 2 years to make a live action movie sounds normal to me, based on other things based on just other movies I've watched. They normally have 2 or 3 year cycles, but being the first live action movie, I think they're going to be really careful with it, so it'll add more time. So yeah, we'll see this. We'll see Mario 2 before Zelda.
Well, let me ask you this. Is there a possibility they come out the same year?
No, I don't think they want to step on themselves.
Okay.
It'll probably depend on how big.
Maybe
like
one in the spring, one in the fall.
Yeah, it's going to depend on how big of a deal they feel it's going to be. Like, is this going to be a summer blockbuster movie? Or you can even think of it possibly as a holiday movie, around Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah. While they normally don't release games in December, movies do come out on December and sometimes the week of Christmas. So, but Zelda really doesn't sound like a Christmas movie to me.
No, and I think you guys are right. I mean, obviously what has to happen is that Chris Pratt has to finish what he's doing on the Mario movie so that he can play Link in the live action Zelda. Right?
No, he's going to be Ganondorf.
I think he's going to be Tingle.
I would love that.
I thought they were getting Jesse to do that for.
They're going to get Jesse to do that. Anyway, it's a great question from Beer. I think you guys are right.
I'm a little old, I think, for Tingle now, but Andros, I think, would be a good candidate.
Jesse, you're never too old for Tingles. All right, I mean, you're never too old for Tingle. Also, this video announced
at least in Majora's Mask, wasn't he like canonically mid-30s?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Which
not kind of weird. It's weird.
Which is the reason why I like the character so much, because when I first played Majora's Mask, I was in my mid-30s.
There you go.
I'm not now.
Neither am I. Ironically, neither are probably a lot of the listeners. I don't know. Release dates for the following games were also announced in this little mini Mario Direct. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is going to release May 23rd, 2024.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. What?
That was weird. Not even verified on the website. Yeah, does it say 23rd or 24th? And it says 23rd.
I wonder.
Why is this a Thursday? I don't know.
Can I ask this? Is May 24th? This is going to be a really dumb question. Is May 24th a holiday in Japan?
I don't know. The Monday following is in the U.S. The Memorial Day, but let's see this.
No, it is not. 24. It is not. I looked it up just now. It's not. Anyway, that's just kind of weird. This is going to be followed up a month later by Luigi's Mansion 2 HD on June 27th. And then they capped all of this off with the announcement of 3 Game Boy games coming to NSO, which dropped on March 12th. These were Dr. Mario, Mario Golf, and Mario Tennis. Can I ask a question here? Why do we need multiple game console versions of the same game?
My thought was, at least for Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, is those games were compatible with Nintendo 64 in the transfer pack. I would like them to actually implement that in the NSO. I don't
I'm
think
okay
they have
with that.
yet.
Because to me, those are different iterations of that game, of those games, right?
Yeah,
There's different
but-
mechanics. Dr.
But
Mario,
Dr. Mario, this is the third time.
yeah, this is the same game. Why
Yeah,
another
like-
Dr. Mario when we could have Super Mario Land? Where is
Yeah.
Super Mario Land? Nintendo, I know you're with Doug Bowser. Where is Super Mario Land?
They lost the
Miyamoto-san.
code. They lost the code for Mario, Mario Land.
Can I tell you what I think? Let me give you the scuttlebutt, the conspiracy. The Nintendo Dad's conspiracy. Super Mario Land. No, here it is.
What's wrong with you?
I think, and this is just my, I don't agree, disagree. I'm just laying this out here. It's just a thing. Has Super Mario Land not been accused of not so subtle racism due to some of the music and depictions in the game?
When I played it at that time, I did not recognize anything at that time.
I just think
like
maybe we're in a different time because there's literally a very Asian inspired level. I think it's level 4. It's the last one where the music starts out and goes da 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 da. And like
they go very Chinese stereotype.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if that's not maybe. I mean, I don't like this idea of like we're going to release the second one first. They did that, like Sega did this with Sonic 2 on the Genesis app, or Nintendo did. Sonic 1 is still not on there.
Right.
It's been, how long has the Genesis app existed? Like 2 years at least? More?
Sounds about right.
It came after Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing was 2020 because it was introduced at the same time that they did the expansion pass.
Yeah, I think I was 2021.
So yeah, it's 2-3 years. Like, I'm just wondering if that, like, I'm not saying that's what it is. Don't walk away and quote and say Nintendo Dad says because Mario
October of 2021.
That's not, I mean, I've seen people say that, and I have to wonder if maybe that's it. And I'm okay. Like, I'm okay if they rework the music, but I think that Super Mario Land's music is charming. Like, I like that. The credit theme from that game, like the theme that plays during the credits, is chef's kiss. Wonderful.
I don't know if I've ever beaten it. I might have gotten to the last level, and I don't remember if I ever beat it.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, that's totally neither here nor there. So that was Mario 10, I keep calling it Mario 10. That was Mario Day announcements. Let's move on and talk about a couple other things here. The Strong National Museum of Play has released their nominees for the World Video Game Hall of Fame. Nominees are Asteroids, Elite, Guitar Hero, Metroid, Myst, Neopets, Resident Evil, SimCity, Tokimeki Memorial, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Ultima, and You Don't Know Jack. For those of us who don't know...
No, Nintendo Picross is not on the list.
So, for those of us who missed this, like, or aren't aware, what is the Strong National Museum of Play? Does anybody know?
It's a museum.
Are you people?
What's wrong with you?
We're going to use that a lot tonight, I'm afraid. Anyway, does anybody know like where this is? Where
it's in New York. It's Skinny Man has always tried to invite us to come out there for events.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. It's this museum he goes to like all the time, right?
Yes.
Gotta see this. Okay. He actually, glad you brought him up because he asked us who you're voting for. Who you voting for, Tim?
SimCity.
Oh,
I saw that coming.
I knew it.
SimCity.
Wait.
Jesse, I know what you're voting for.
What am I voting for?
I think you're voting for Ultima.
Well, I thought of 3 that I'd vote for because I think when they do the voting, they vote for the top 3 because
is Ultima one of them?
Ultima is one of them. I do try normally on these things. I lean towards like the older games, like the first of a genre, like truly games that are trying new things instead of Resident Evil. We've seen spooky games before. Yeah, this did it in a different way, but that one isn't really one I would vote for. The other two, I would say Metroid, mainly because of the Nintendo thing, and it did kind of birth the Metroidvania. Because even the original Castlevania wasn't a Metroidvania, and my third pick would be, again, going back to the legacy, Asteroids.
Okay.
Where it was a vector game, so it didn't even use the raster graphics, like where your traditional TV scan lines output. It had a special vector monitor where the program had specific control over the light gun and can tell it where to go.
That is correct.
Yeah. I would vote for Guitar Hero. And I think I would vote for it based on the fact that it's different and it has replayability and it has a way, like a way of bringing people together around it.
Yeah, if I had a fourth vote, that is what I would pick. Because
mine would be Guitar Hero and Metroid, and You Don't Know Jack. Just because I like it.
Yeah, I always liked that type of trivia that doesn't take itself seriously.
Yeah, Tim, did you have two other choices?
Metroid and Myst, I think.
I knew you. I mean, Metroid's a gimme for you, right?
Yeah.
It's like if Mega Man had been on this list,
right?
And it's just like moth to a flame.
Yep.
Right. Like going back to Guitar Hero, that would literally birth the genre. Other games copied it.
Yeah, Asteroids birthed a genre. I think Metroid birthed a genre. So SimCity birthed a genre. All of these are pretty genre-defining games, if you look at it. So those are good nominees. What I didn't see on there is there's a glaring lack of a pure platformer action game like Mario.
Because they're already on there. They're already in the Hall of Fame, probably.
Oh, well, they're already in the Hall of Fame. Well, that may be why.
That would be a good reason. Put Space Panic in there, cowards.
Root beer tapper. That defined a genre.
I actually prefer the original Tapper, where it actually served beer instead of root beer.
Well, we can't do that, Jesse. Kids can't play that. Anyway.
Back in the 80s, they could.
We did.
Couple little news items I want to mention here. They're not in our notes as we round out news, because we didn't have a whole lot this week. We want to send our condolences to the fans and family of Akira Toriyama, who was the creator of Dragon Ball Z and is, I think, for a lot of video game fans, I think most people know him for Dragon Ball, but is very familiar as a contributor to Dragon Quest and Chrono Trigger and a lesser-known Xbox RPG, Blue Dragon. He had a very signature style. If you know the Dragon Quest look, then you know Toriyama's style. If you know Chrono Trigger's designs, you know Toriyama's style, and it's a huge loss for anime fans of RPGs and his designs. And so it kind of sucks, man. Like getting old, you see all your heroes. I'm going to tell you what, it's going to be a dark, dark day in my life when Peter Cullen passes away. And he is no longer the voice of Optimus Prime. Frank Welker, Peter Cullen, like Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold, when they die, it's going to...
You know how many times I watch videos about all of those people you mentioned, just because of, just going back to when I grew up on all of their voices or their images or whatever.
Well, I watched the new episode of Invincible that came out today, and I forgot that Peter Cullen does a voice in that.
Does he sound like Optimus Prime?
Without the robotic feedback, but yeah, he still sounds like him.
Autobots, roll out.
Something like that.
Iconic. It's like John Wayne as a robot.
Right.
He was my dad. as a kid. Like he was my animated dad. Like I will forever love Optimus Prime because it just got me through being a kid. So good. So I need to go watch some Transformers G1 episodes. But anyway, one other thing I wanted to throw out here too is that last week we had a lot of talk about Yuzu and the lawsuit between the what's Twisted Panda. Whoever, I mean, like, what was the name of the developer there that they settled out of court? And in the wake of Yuzu being
Looking
gone,
up last week's notes to get that company name.
an emulator has already taken its place and filled the void, and it's literally called Suyu.
Yeah, well, which is basically they took Yuzu's code base from GitHub before they pulled it down, and then tweaked it. Tropical Haze is
Tropical Haze, not Twisted Panda. Tropical Haze sounds like a new flavor of Baja Blast Mountain Dew. Twisted Panda sounds like something that you buy at a gas station in a sketchy part of town. Anyway, like, how long does this last? How long until Nintendo ninjas this one? It may already happen.
Well, I know they are saying that they're not monetizing, which I think is I think that's the thing that would get them slapped really quick.
Gotcha.
They're trying their best to not get sued, but still, it doesn't mean that they won't.
The name is literally Suyu. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I was amused when I heard that.
So they might as well put the word Nintendo in parentheses in front of the name, Nintendo Suyu.
Right.
Well, guys, with that, that's our news this week. Let's take a moment for an ad break from our good friends and sponsors over at Manscaped.
This episode is brought to you by the spring cleaning champions, Manscaped. This season, make sure to groom your carpets and the drapes with leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Clear out the winter bush with Manscaped. Manscaped's Lawn Mower 5.0, and watch your confidence bloom like the springtime flowers. Embrace the season and join the 10 million men worldwide who trusted Manscaped with our special offer. Go to manscaped.com and use code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. After using Manscaped, I can finally say I have caught the spring fever. Introducing the season champ, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. It also features dual LED spotlights to guide you through the darkest winter debris. Navigate with confidence in your delicate areas. Hate making a mess? Not to worry, this bad boy is waterproof. Shave in the shower, in the bath, or in the ocean. So make sure whether you're looking to craft your signature look or clean up the neckline, these are always the right tools for the job. Especially when I talk about the neckline, they have the Beard Hedger Pro Kit and Handyman electric face shavers. So not just for downstairs, but you can take care of the upstairs as well. So don't forget to get your 20% off free shipping, use the code NINDADS at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with NINDADS at manscaped.com. Nothing like a little spring cleaning in your pants.
I think I hit the wrong one, but...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Nintendo Dads proudly presents to you the 4th member who gets here late and is not on time.
And not even listening.
And he totally missed it.
He's having a conversation with someone off screen. So
Justin Masson. He's here. If you're listening to the audio, you just can't see him. And if you're watching the video, you're just
you can
seeing
see him, but you can't hear him.
Ninfrendo says Justin looks pissed that Tim's doing the read. He's yelling at the producer and his manager.
I don't think he's yelling at the manager. Justin, you missed your epic intro that I gave you, but welcome to the show. We're so glad you could finally grace
us. What's wrong with you?
This evening.
I appreciate that. It is I'm on full dad mode today.
I got you. I totally understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think
I just
we've
had a
all had
daughter-
one of those weeks, apparently.
I just
yeah.
had a daughter who's been napping for 3 hours because she had a headache, and then she just walked in the door in my room, was like, "What's for dinner?" And I was like, "You've been sleeping. It's whatever you find in the house, right? Like, give her."
Yeah, that's the answer I would have given.
What's going on? Well, it's 8:30 and I'm trying to have a podcast, and your sister trying to hit the hot tub. What are you doing? I don't know. There's pie in the fridge. Can I have pie? Go have pie. I don't like that's fine. Go
No,
ahead.
it's totally fine. Totally
It's
fine.
Pie Day.
It is Pie
Why
Day.
not? Why
It's
not?
Pie
Hey,
Day.
what did I miss for the news? Can I give you like the 3-minute hot takes on
No.
all the news items?
No. Yes, you can. You can.
Okay, run me down the news items one by one. Go.
All right, here it is. Here it is. Speed news for Justin.
Yep.
Mario 10 Day announcements.
Yes.
Mario Day announcements. Talk.
Yeah, cool. I thought the Lego set was all right. I'm excited to kind of see what the Mario Kart Lego stuff is. That'll be kind of cool. 2025.
We didn't even talk about the Lego stuff.
seems a little bit far. A new Super Mario movie coming out. And water is wet. Duh, who called this? Of course it was happening. More Mario games coming to Switch Online. Okay, not a big shock there. Dr. Mario on Game Boy. I never played that, but I'm excited to play it in bed. Paper Mario coming in May. That makes total sense for sure. June is Luigi Mansion. Okay, cool. So we know nothing that's happening in the back ear of Nintendo. Scratch beard, interestingly. Tell me more. Also, there's nothing from Nintendo mainstream in April. That's awkward, but sort of interesting. Do I think we're going to get a Nintendo Direct between now and the end of June? Likely not. Do I think that Nintendo doesn't have anything planned? Probably not necessarily what we suspect they're going to have. Is there going to be like a mini partner or a little indie direct somewhere? Yes, but don't expect a mainstream Nintendo Direct until the late June Nintendo Direct E3 window, whatever that's going to be. It's not going to be at Summer Game Fest, by the way, because that was announced this week. They're not going to be showing up something big there. And we saw a leaked document on NVC about what the next Nintendo Direct is, and that's occurring in April. Nope, that's a false. Ain't going to happen. What else would you like?
Here's the other thing. National Museum of Play released nominees for World Video Game Hall of Fame. You can pick 3 of these. Which one would you vote for?
Okay.
Asteroids, Elite, Guitar Hero, Metroid, Myst, Neopets, Resident Evil, SimCity, Tokimeki, Memorial, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, Ultima, and You Don't Know Jack.
Metroid, Resident Evil, and just choose another one. Just spin a dice. Don't really
Guitar
care.
Hero.
Guitar
There we
Hero,
go.
sure.
Okay, awesome. That was it. So you're caught up.
Well, also, did we mention that Prince of Persia has showed the roadmap for this year, and they have 3 free DLC updates plus a paid DLC story expansion coming at the end of the month.
No, we didn't talk about
plus,
that.
by the way, if you have not played Prince of Persia, it's on like half price sales in a lot of places to get it. So if you've been on the fence and thinking about you should not get it, this is one of the
right
best
on schedule
games that you need to be playing. There's already conversations about it being in people's like game of the year. This game will show up in people's game of the year for 2024. So if you haven't played it and you want a fantastic Metroidvania, this is one of the best Metroidvanias I have played. I'm excited about the roadmap. You need to check it out. Go do yourself a favor and pick up Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. You will be happy by it.
And I would tell you that all of that needs to calm down.
No, it's good. Get out of here. Get out of here.
All of it needs to calm down. It's not as good as people say it is.
It is very good.
Oh, no, it's not.
It is. I just think that you just don't know what you're talking about.
I am this close to deleting it off my Switch.
Well, that's a bad choice. That's what that is. You know.
And I love my Metroidvania games.
What do you not like about that game?
It's frustratingly difficult.
Get good, son. I thought you were born on Mega Man. I thought you were good.
I am. Mega Man's a good game that has good combat mechanics.
Get out of here.
Like,
so you're saying it's harder than Dread?
I think it's harder than Dread.
Okay.
Have you
I
tried the settings?
I at least bought and tried Dread.
The enemies overwhelm you. They're placed cheaply. There's way too much time between trees. The map sucks because like the map is gigantic and it's like, hey, go down here from East BFE to way up here to heaven. And you got to get through all this other stuff between there. And if you don't know where we're going, sorry, sucks to suck.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited as CEO of Nintendo Dads to announce that we have a new offering for a host role. Some of the things that you need to basically not do is say that this game sucks and have good taste in games. That's all. Just send your emails directly to martyisfired.com.
Fantastic taste in games. But anyway, typical Ubisoft game that it's now half off about a month after release. Anyway.
Now, in all fairness, we all said that. Yeah, we all said if you were on the fence about this, just wait 60 days and you'll be grand.
Okay, let me be fair. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I've seen tons of praise for this game. All right, and I think it's completely valid. I don't think it's for me. All right, and that's fine. I just don't think it's for me. There were not enough things. Now I was initially very enthusiastic about it. I do think the gameplay mechanic is good. I get frustrated at the amount of times I've died. I get frustrated at the reset progress, all of that.
That's fair.
So I'm probably gonna finish it, but I've got other games that come before that right now. So here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, the combat and the platforming were negatives for me when I played the demo.
Yeah,
I'm shocked you even played the demo, Jesse.
Me too.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked your Nintendo Switch, when you went over the button, it wasn't like you have made an error. It's not a Picross game.
It bursts into flames.
It's or a game from Japan.
Yeah. It is time now for our question of the week, and you've arrived just in time. And in honor of Pi Day today, I thought an interesting question would be, if you could eat any food from any video game, what would it be? As you guys think of your answer, we're going to go to some friends who sent over their answers. David Bileka says the strawberry cake from Kirby's Dream Buffet or any of the fruit in the Pikmin games. Nintendo makes them look so yummy. Zablanc answers the strawberry pie at the end of Celeste. Ebucel's answer is gooseberry is the best pie. Shepherd's pie is second to gooseberry. I don't think that was anyway.
I think he ended up answering a different question.
Solo says shepherd's pie. Beer says, if I could eat any food from any video game, it would be that delicious cake Peach promised us at the end of Mario 64. To which Darth Platypus replied, I second Beer. I'd like to know more about this delicious cake. Guys, what say you? Any food from any video game, you can have it to eat. What is your choice?
I got of two answers. The first is from Persona 4. One of the tasks to increase some of your stats is to eat this big beef bowl challenge. And it basically requires max stats to complete it to get rewards, but if you try it and fail, you still get, an increase in courage and whatnot. So that actually literally inspired me to learn how to make gyudon, or a beef bowl, rice and beef bowl. So I've actually done that. And my second answer is the cake from Portal.
It's a lie, Jesse. It's a lie.
You see it at the end.
Well, maybe it's a lie. Somebody else, Tim, Justin, what's your answer?
I thought this was a pie question, so I was going to say peach pie.
Doesn't have to be pie. It could be any food.
Peach pie. Yeah. Peach pie is good.
My answer was, I really would.
You two are disappointing.
You are very disappointing.
I don't know if Tim got that. There was a pause there and a little bit of laughter. Yeah.
Yep. I got it. And this, gentlemen, this is a family show.
I didn't say anything was wrong. It's a true statement. Peach pie is great.
Here's my answer. Why can I not walk down the street and punch a vending machine and a whole turkey come out, like in Final Fight? Maybe I'm just punching the wrong vending machines, but those always wall chicken from Castlevania
wall chicken.
Wall chicken. Yeah.
But here's my real answer. Power pellets. I want to know what Pac-Man is experiencing
I bet you each of those is like a trip on LSD.
It's like this
Like,
article that I read.
You know,
it's
honestly,
this
I never
article
liked.
I read.
I never liked the term power pellets. That was something the cartoon gave it.
Yeah.
The name of the item, according to the game, is an energizer.
Okay. Then I want an Energizer. It's kind of like an article I read today where about Ozzy Osbourne, where he said the reason he quit taking LSD or acid was that he dropped 10 acid tabs and went and stood in a field for an hour and had a conversation with a horse who finally told him to F off and go make his album. He said, no more. That's it. I'm done. Actually, he said, no more. That's it. I'm done.
I'd rather like the idea that he dropped acid and then like Pac-Man came out of the field and was like, you got too much, buddy, too much.
Like,
and I know because I've been eating all this stuff.
Oh, it's like he just shows up. It's like, I'm so disappointed in you.
Some of the food I would eat is, you remember
What's wrong with you?
remember the Street Pass cooking game that you could do?
Yes.
Some of the food that you could make there, man, I was like, would make me hungry. And then some other of the food that actually was like, hey, this is actually looking pretty good is the sandwiches you can make in Pokemon game, the Pokemon Violet Scarlet games.
Oh yeah.
It's like sandwiches.
Yeah.
Like when I started playing that, you're making sandwiches. Like, where are these coming from? What is the
Right,
sandwich
become
thing?
a Subway artist. That's right.
A couple of answers from folks following us along in chat right now. Steve Cullum says Starman from Mario. Then Friendo says whatever cooking mama makes me. Mikey Burgett says warm peach pie is delish. And then Friendo also says like that level in Yoshi's Island. I'm not sure.
I'm going to go for
one that's like a cake. Probably. I forgot.
I'm going to go for like low hanging fruit and say pizza from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Like that's a pretty
street pizza.
Yeah,
right.
Like street pizza from New York is pretty fantastic.
That's right.
Yeah, 99-cent pizza and more. Shout out to our
shout out to the guy, who's selling that across the street from our hotel.
Yep, that was good stuff. I was way back twice. Well, guys, that's our question of the week. Justin, you're here just in time to get really mad about a rumor. Here we go.
Ooh, yes.
So this is from our good friend Chris HL, and he says, I know you guys hate questions about Switch 2 rumors, but what do you think about the alleged name leak, the Switch Attach? Nintendo Switch 2's official name may have leaked on YouTube, and I don't believe it. This is an article from Tom's Guide. The YouTube survey asks, which of these gaming products would you consider buying, with the four options being PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Attach, or none of the above? What say you?
It's not going to be. Nintendo
it's a spelling error.
Attach.
It has to be.
Yeah,
like that has to be like somebody was typing really fast and they spelled attach instead of
the only way it might be attached is if that's the internal code name they're using for it. Like the Wii was Revolution. I think the GameCube was Dolphin.
Yeah.
Right. So if it's
this is also a Google survey, and Google is also known for throwing in wrong words just to see if people are paying attention.
Google was like, hey, ChatGPT, make me a survey for the most
I think it's called theirs is called Genesis, I think.
Yeah, whatever it's called, right?
Gemini.
Yeah, I was going to say they probably have their own AI engine.
Yep.
Yeah, I hope not, but I don't think this is it. I have no explanation of why it's here, but that it just sounds ridiculous.
I just mentioned it. Google will throw in the wrong words for.
I don't have any other.
Okay.
That probably is a good reason, but I don't have any other reason why that would be there.
Yep. That to me makes more logical sense than. I mean, if I didn't know that, I could certainly be like, "What? Switch Attach? What the heck?" But
attach. It writes itself, like the commercials. It's like, what are we gonna do? Attach.
I can attach these Joy Cons.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just I honestly feel like it's just a giant misspelling, right? Like it's autocorrect.
This is sort of like, and I said it at the beginning of the year, this is the season that I sort of like really dislike from a content perspective. And like we could absolutely make a video every single day about every single rumor, Nintendo leak, all of those things, right? But it just becomes so overwhelming. And there's such a desperation for any information. Now, in all fairness, there are literally YouTubers and this is their career for it. So good on you. But like it's like, we're gonna spin up a 15-minute video about attach. And you're like, what are we doing with ourselves right now?
It's like when you go into a tweet or Zeet or whatever, and it's like it's showing a video and like somebody asks what's going on here, and all the other replies are just other videos farming engagement, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all for let's get engagement. It's
and again, like, listen,
they're trying to earn their 5 cents of ad revenue.
Well, but I mean, in all fairness, and so maybe this is a weird like rant around, right? But like, in all fairness, like speculation, rumor, it will draw clicks and ads, and maybe that's how some of these people have bigger channels. Like, and that's awesome, right? But like, we are now in this point of like Nintendo is like, I'm sort of honest on this. Like, I really don't think we're gonna hear much from Nintendo over the next several months. The fact that they just revealed the 2 dates for their 2 released games via a video indicates to me
a 150-second video.
Yeah, exactly. Indicates to me that they don't have anything else really for the first half of this year. Now I think there's probably a much more strategic position and offering in the back half of the year. There has to be, I believe. And so like when everyone's like, where's our February Direct? Or where's like, I don't think we're going to hear anything from Nintendo. They had the partner showcase, so you've got stuff there. They just told you what their main games are. I think the end of June, you're going to hear from them. They're going to reveal what their back half of the year is going to look like. And we are all going to be like, what's going on with the next console? And we're going to continue in this cycle for the next 6 months until they finally come out and say, this is what our new console is. This is what it's called.
Do you think they're going to do the same strategy that they did with the Switch, though? Like, there was like an October reveal and then a January press conference, and then, hey, it's out in March.
I think it all depends on how significant of a change it is, right? Is it a iteration, or is it like a full, like brand new hardware that's like, we need to explain this to you? Or is it like we've all kind of said, I just want a Switch Pro, right? Like
right.
if it's that, then like, do you got to do much? I think the cycle time between them of like, here it is and it's out, will be short. I think it'll be shorter than I think when they revealed the Switch coming off the Wii U, they had to show shareholders early on, listen, we sort of know that this thing isn't going well. Let us make sure we get this out to the public so that people are aware. The sentiment was adjusting. People were transitioning it.
The whole thing in January was all about, let us show you exactly what this is so that there's no confusion. There's no, what's a Wii U? We're going to show you exactly all the ways you can use the Switch, right? We're going to show you flop down on the couch. We're going to show you playing it in Joy-Con mode. We're going to show it in handheld. We're going to show you all the capabilities so that you will be so hyped that this is coming out in 2 months.
Yeah.
And you'll be racing to go get one. And guess what? It worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It absolutely worked.
Like they did the commercial, right? That was in October. They did the reveal 90-minute stage presentation, like an Apple keynote essentially in January.
I thought it was longer than that, but
bless me. And then it was March, right? So it was like a 5 to 6 month reveal. I think the cycle time will be shorter, probably. I think it will be like we'll show you, show or announce it in, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's shorter this time for sure. So
yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you, but I definitely don't think there's anything to Switch attach. I don't think I think it's a typo. I think somebody sent that out and probably got reprimanded later. Like, why did you do that? Don't be stupid next time. Anyway, end of rumors. Let's talk about events.
Well, before we do, I wanted to say that I remember saying in early 2023 that I didn't think the Switch would end up passing PlayStation 2 unless this is when we were still thinking 2024 was a guaranteed release for the successor. Then I said, unless they're delaying it to 2025, I don't think they can do it. But now, if it looks like that might be what they're doing, now think they might have a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's talk about events. Hey, so if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, it is Friday, the third Friday of the month, in fact, which means that it is time for the table. And what is the table? Well, it's where the community gets together to discuss whatever is on everyone's mind. The table starts at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And if you want to join in, you can subscribe to us over on Patreon at patreon.com/NintendoDads, or on Twitch using your Amazon Prime subscription to use Twitch Prime to subscribe to us for that month, and you'll get access to the Discord and you get to join in. This is supposed to be just a friend hangout, community hangout time, super therapeutic. We don't record this. It's just literally time to hang out. And apparently Mecca comes and hands out Choco Tacos. So now that I have good internet, who knows? I may even show up at the table this month. We'll see. But anyway, you can show up at the table the third Friday of every month. So don't forget, if you're listening to us on the video, that's tomorrow night. So go check that out. Now it's time for a timeout.
So I have a timeout for this time, and it's because this is why I was late to getting getting ready for the show. But I got someone paid my way to go to this legacy letter challenge. It's something I was interested in, and I signed up for a newsletter for it. But you have to pay to go and learn how to write a letter, how dads can write a letter to their kids. So that they can leave a legacy for either while they're, for when they're gone, essentially. So it teaches dads and even moms, but it was started out with dads to teach them how to write these letters. And because basically the story goes, this person, Blake Brewer, he's his father was a football player, and they were going out to Hawaii as a family, and he was all excited, and he got to go swimming with his dad and out in Hawaii, snorkeling and all that stuff. A little bit of what you got to do, Justin. But unfortunately, his dad and him swam out a little too far, and he lost his dad to drowning, essentially. But what he had found out that night when he had lost his dad, or within 24 hours of that his dad was actually out there to give him a letter. And his dad gave him this letter that basically kind of laid out all these wonderful things about, apologizing for things he's done in his life and how much he loved him and all that kind of stuff. And it just left a lasting impression on him. So this person, Blake, later on in life discovered that from various experiences through his life, not just that, but others, that, hey, maybe a letter, teaching dads how to write a letter for their kids would be beneficial for everybody. And that way dads can leave a lasting legacy for their kids. So, and then, at any age, there were dads in there in this meeting that I went to, and moms and grandparents, all different ages, with all different ages of kids, and even some that didn't even have kids yet, but, hope that one day that they wanted to learn how to write these letters. And so basically it goes through the outline of, you have an intro, apology, I love you, I'm proud of you, I believe in you, memories, advice, and closing paragraph, all those fun things, goes over each and every part of it. And I thought it was fantastic, and I can't wait to start writing one for my kids. And there's basically and we're not getting paid to say any of this. I'm just sharing it because I got to go do it. And and anybody who's interested in what I just said can go to legacyletter.com/workshop to check it out and see for themselves if that's something they want to do. Again,
It's pretty cool.
it's not just for dads, it's for anybody who wants to leave a legacy
I'm
for their
taking
kids.
a look at it right now as you're talking about it, and man, that sounds like something that would be very useful for a lot of us.
Yeah, I encourage anybody who would like that to go check it out. You can schedule and be on a workshop, and I know there's some things paid, but I don't know how I ended up getting paid to go. I don't know if I got picked randomly because I signed up for the newsletter or whatever, but I got an email that said, "Hey, someone paid your way to go." Maybe someone paid it forward. I plan on paying it forward myself because I found it very beneficial. So, and I feel I'll probably find the right moment when I need to pay it forward, but everybody can go to the legacyletter.com/workshop to check it out. And I think I encourage everybody to go do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
So does anybody else have a timeout for this week before I share mine?
I do not.
My timeout is the TV show Shogun on FX. I would highly recommend it. It is pretty cool.
Yeah, I found my father-in-law watching that this week, and I walked in and like samurai were exploding across the screen, and I was like, literally, they were exploding, and I was like, "What is this?" And he's like, and I was like, "Oh, it's episode 4." And so I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go watch this now. I'm gonna add it to my Hulu Live."
Yeah, I'd recommend it. Also, I got 2 other things I want to share. That
Okay.
already share. We're in a sharing space, yeah.
Share 'em.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to share 2 things that I experienced during my trip to Hawaii recently. Both of them are upsetting and odd. First, when traveling abroad, we logged into like Disney Plus, and of course, certain shows are available in certain regions. And my daughter and wife discovered the show Dance Moms. And this is a sad reality of a show, and it gives me no hope for the humanity that we have in society.
My daughter has watched through that show about 7 or 8 times.
Yeah, it is not okay.
No, it's not.
Not okay. It's super like, man, there is no hope for humanity after you watch Dance Moms. Feel bad for everybody involved. Next, transition to a fun commentary. We went out one night for a luau as a family. We're sitting around this table, and another family comes and they sit down with us, and we're all having conversations. This is a family from Minnesota, I believe, actually. And we're having conversations, nice folks, and they proceed to say to me, "Wow, I would have never guessed you're Canadian. You speak English so well. I had no idea you were Canadian."
Oh my God.
They talk like this, yeah?
So
That's very Swedish. You sound like you're about to have a big summer blowout.
Yeah, I didn't know really how to respond to that. They were shocked that as a Canadian,
Did they think everyone was in Canada was from Quebec?
I don't know what they said. They could have never guessed I was Canadian because I spoke English so well. Never would have guessed I was.
It's almost like they just leaned over and patted you on the head. It's like, "You're doing such a good job."
I literally felt that, and I was like, "Are you effing kidding me right now?"
Yep. Nope, they're not.
You speak English good, don't you know?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, you are crazy folks.
wow.
Yeah,
Bless your heart. That's what we would say to them if they were in the South. Bless your
yeah.
heart.
So those are two US experiences I had. Both did not leave me with much hope for humanity.
Well, since we're on the no hope train, let me share one with you.
Sweet.
I got to deal with this, and I'm still dealing with this. We took our students from our church to an event this weekend. It was a weekend long event. They stayed at people's houses within our, not just random people, but people in our church who had volunteered to let students stay.
I like it. So the idea of just random
Yes,
people.
we just let them. We're just like, here they
Just
are.
just walk in, make yourself at
We've
home.
got 10, we got 10 for you tonight. We'll be back
Yeah.
in the morning. No, we have transportation that our church owns, and so one of our other adults was driving our bus. It seats 26 people, including the driver, and he's driving. It's literally only 30 minutes away, folks. Like, so this happened very quickly. We had one of our students who we have a rule. We don't eat on the bus, right? Because there's a lot of problems. And he was 15 minutes late. And of course he had food. And I'm not gonna, like, it's dinner time. I'm not heartless. I'm gonna let the kid eat, right? So I'm like, just go in there and eat it. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. No, it was not fine.
Oh no.
Because one of these precious, wonderful souls decided it would be a good idea to take the styrofoam cup that they had gotten from Zaxby's, urinate in it,
No.
put the top back on it,
No.
and then offer it to people to drink.
Ouch.
If you wonder why does Marty have gray hair, this is why.
Wow.
This is why.
That took a turn I didn't see coming.
I did not. Yeah, it took a dark turn, didn't it? Thankfully, let me report this. As I know that no one drank it. Thank God. Nobody drank it. I was God, yeah. But now I have to have the conversation that I never thought in 22 years of being a youth pastor.
Mm-hmm.
I have not had to have the conversation. You do not pee in a cup on a moving vehicle around other people. It just can't happen.
Wow.
Y'all, I'm telling you, this, like, when they say, I know we're old. I know we're Gen X and millennials or whatever. I refuse to be called a millennial. I am from Gen X. That's who I am. Or I'm not a millennial. Don't you dare call me a geriatric millennial. All right, that's the worst. It's that. So, but here's this. Here, when they say that Gen Z is built different, it is true.
They do not.
They are just built different. I like literally heard about this Sunday morning and I just went and sat down and I was like, I don't know what to do. I do not, like, how do you even trying to, what,
How do you raise that delicately?
oh, you
Right.
don't. You don't. In fact, so this week, part of my time in my office was to sit with the notes app open on my phone and create a document that basically was the conversation that I was going to have with this student
Wow.
who ironically did not show up to anything this week. So it's still there. It's still lingering. It's still hanging in the air. So, yeah.
Can I make a recommendation?
Yeah, sure. Like, listen, I like if the recommendation is like find something else to do for a living, I'm cool with that.
So here's what I think you
or
should
anything.
do. Here's what I think you should do, Marty.
Yeah.
before this young gentleman comes to your office, I want you to go find a styrofoam cup. And I want you to boil a little bit of hot water in it. And I want you to add a little bit of lemonade to it. And I want you like the exact same looking cup as your man had. And as he sits down for this conversation, I want you to push it across and say, sure, look at, do you want a drink? You're thirsty. I've got you something. Would you like some?
This is the best.
And just
And
see
I
what
would
happens.
get fired.
No, I mean it's just lemonade and hot water.
No, I know.
Right.
But,
And
oh
so
my gosh.
I'm just curious. So you wouldn't drink this? So why are we here today? Right? I bet you he sees a styrofoam cup. He knows exactly
Listen,
why he's there.
I love starting conversations with that line. Why? Do you know why? You know what we're going to talk about, don't you? That's how I always start out. Like, you know what this is about, don't you? And most of the time they're like, yeah, I do. And then I just say, why? Why? Why do you hate me? Why do you hate people? Why do you hate good things? Anyway, I just like, look.
What's wrong with you?
Exactly. I say all that to share this is that, like, I think a lot of times, like I talk about, oh yeah, my students, and we did this and we did that. Sometimes it's not all roses, right? Like dealing with people is hard. And I think that, and I'm not just saying, like, if you're going to lead in anything, you're going to deal with people. You just got to know how to do it. And so I've been doing this for 22 years, and I still, like, this is new. This is new. I've never dealt with something like this. So I don't know how I made it this far and didn't deal with something like this, but I was talking to somebody about it this week, and they're like, the thing that's bad about you and where you're at in your position is, like, teachers at school can do something about it. Like, they can punish a kid, like they can suspend them, or they can send them to the principal's office, or they can, I can't. What do I do? I can shake my finger at it, but you better not do that again. Okay.
Yeah, there's no real consequence, right?
Yeah. So that's just being raw. That's just being real.
Yours is more about counseling, it sounds like, too.
And honestly, if you want me to peel back a little bit more of the onion and a little bit of layers, and I'm not going to get in this too much, really hard when situations like that come up, when you're involved in something that's so personal, like what I do, to not feel like an absolute failure at your calling and at your life and at what you do, because you pour your heart and soul into it. And I know that I shouldn't feel that way. Okay. Like, I get it. Like, logically, my mind goes, okay, Marty, it's not, you didn't do that. You didn't make that choice, but my heart feels something else. Right.
I mean, I'm disappointed you didn't lead a sermon on why you shouldn't pee in a styrofoam cup. Right.
We almost had just like a little powwow Wednesday night, but we just continued on. I felt like that, because why am I going to do that to 45, 50 other kids when there's 2 or 3 over here? Yeah. That, I don't want to, like, there was a time where I would have come in with like thunder and lightning and brimstone, and be like, blah, blah, but I don't want to ruin the experience for everyone else because of what 2 or 3 people did. So
sure.
I guess that's how I'm different. But anyway, that's enough sob, enough story. Let's talk about what we've been playing, because that's good. Hey, sure, look at Justin. You ain't got nothing on your list. What have you been playing this week?
I haven't actually been playing a lot. I did actually go back to playing a bit of Dave the Diver, because I had an update recently, and I was like, man, I love getting back into Dave the Diver. It's so much fun.
Is that the Dredge update?
They did the Dredge update. That was actually before Christmas. They did like a patch update, and there were some other things they added, I think. So it wasn't like I didn't notice. I was like, ooh, new. I think there's some new content, but like I was like, this is a great game. What I did play today, though, that I got a first look out on, come out tomorrow. And I'm trying to figure out how to actually say the name of the game. Say it with me. I'll spell it. You tell me how you'd say it. GYLT. GYLT. I know, right? I'm like it's GYLT, right? Like, I mean, this is how we're saying it. So the reason you might be like, well, hold on, GYLT, that sounds like a weird game. Where have I heard that from? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this was one of those games that was a first to Stadia from the good folks over at Tequila Works. And I remember seeing it during one of the Stadia trailers, and I was like, this looks really cool. I never picked it up, but I was like, this looks really cool. It is, I'm about 40 minutes into it. I will have the first look up tomorrow, so you can take a look at it there. It is reminds me at times of Alan Wake. It reminds me at times of moments of Resident Evil, but essentially you are looking for a relative and you stumble your way into what I can only describe as maybe an alternate universe of some sort, where you happen to continue your search for your family member, and creatures are there. Creatures, like it's very environmental and atmospheric storytelling. It is dark areas. It is, you have the headsets on, you hear a sound over here that's kind of a little bit behind you, right? But you turn around, there's nothing there. So it's there's definitely like fear and horror, but not like gore horror, if that makes sense. Like, but I did say at times, I'm like, I feel like at any moment a zombie dog is going to jump through that glass and scare the bejeebus out of me. Doesn't happen, right? But I was like, this definitely feels like the atmosphere and the pace it's building like a Resident Evil. But interestingly enough, one of the things, the theme that is very apparent, and actually even they start the game off, is actually about bullying. And so like I would say bullying and a lot of self-doubt and a lot of negative talk. And so those are definitely themes that you see at various ways throughout the game, from my playthrough already. So it's very interesting. It definitely has my attention. Like I kind of want to keep going with it and see where it goes. But very cool. It is GYLT. It's out now. Just hit the eShop today. It's about $40 Canadian. So I think it's like 35 American. You'd have to check the eShop. Yeah, it's not a $20 indie. It's a little bit of a higher price tag to that one. Big thanks to Tequila Works for sending us a review code for it. But yeah, I'd say definitely check it out. I'm enjoying it for sure. So those are the two games I've been playing.
Okay, good deal. Tim, bounce over to you.
All right. I'm sitting here trying to multitask here. So what I've been playing first is Balatro, of course. It looks like Marty, you started diving into that some there. So I'll let you talk about it from a fresh perspective, because I talked about it enough. I also just started playing the Llamasoft, the Jeff Minter story. We're going to have a first look of that up soon, hopefully this weekend. But basically, if you don't know, Jeff Minter created one of my favorite games of all time, which is Tempest. But he also created some other games like Grid Runner, Revenge of the Mutant Camels, and Llamatron. So just to name a few, but it's another game by the same developer that did, I think, the one you looked at, Jesse, before. Trying to see what the name is of this developer, and I don't see it.
Like
So
the ones who did Atari 50 and the
Karate game one,
the
yeah,
Karateka
Karateka one, yeah. And I can't find the name of that company right now. So, but yeah,
looking it up.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so
Digital Eclipse.
Thanks. Digital Eclipse gave us a code to check that out. So I'm checking that out, and it's kind of laid out the same way, where it's a gaming documentary. So you get to watch a documentary and play the games that are in that documentary. And then there's some visual things you can click on and move around and look at close-ups on. So it's an interactive documentary, which is really cool. And I kind of wanted to check out Jesse's one that he did a review on before because of that. But now this one came out, and because I'm a fan of Tempest, I was excited to check this one out. Plus, thankfully, Jesse didn't have time to do it. So I took over.
And these games didn't have any nostalgia for me like they did for you, whereas Karateka I had nostalgia for that one.
There we go. So yeah, again, I'm gonna be doing a first look on that, or actually a let's play more likely because I've already started playing it and sharing my thoughts on that story. And it's probably gonna hit different, just like for me and Jesse. Like Jesse had one he was more into. This is one I'm more into. So these different interactive documentaries are probably going to hit different for each person, but I'm still going to share my, you know, let's play about how it's
I'm,
arranged. And
I'm hoping they do one for Prince of Persia, which is pretty much the spiritual successor to Karateka.
nice. Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what they do going forward. I also played CarX Highway Racing, which I did a let's play of that and got a video out on for that, where I go over what is going on in this game. It is a racing game, but what I like about it is that it's you're buying these cars that they're not licensed cars, so you're not going in to buy any of your favorite licensed car, but doggone, they look pretty close to some of the licensed ones out there. So hopefully there's no problems with that. But what I like about it is that you're getting these cars, and if you've ever played racing games and you go out on the freeway in the real life and driving your car, you're kind of like you're like, oh man, I would love to be able to race on this freeway, type of thing. It'd be kind of cool. This game is built on that idea where you're taking these cars, you can actually upgrade them as well, buy new parts and all that, but race on the freeways. And then you're either going to do like free rides where you're just cruising yourself and going as fast as you can, but then you can also do races that get in a story in chapter mode or campaign mode where you can race in there and you have to beat certain objectives throughout each chapter. And there's like 16 chapters, which is a lot of content, and they're short. So you can, take wherever you need to do short little game burst in with you and do like a quick race or two. And then you're getting money to be able to buy parts or buy a new car or whatever to continue on in the story. There's also, there is an online mode, but it's more of like a ghost asynchronous type racing where you can go into certain tracks and see if you can beat certain ranks. So you're moving up in the ranks to see how high you can get in the world against other racers. So you get to see their ghost and how well they did in their during that track run. Again, you earn money and can build up your cars and try to beat the best racers and go up on the ranking there. There's different events you can do on your own. And they're pretty unique events I haven't seen in other games. Like one is where you have to try to go along and beat the longest stretch by reaching certain checkpoints. And then if you don't make that checkpoint in a certain amount of time, then your game ends. Now I know there's some, like cruising games where it's like that, where you got to get through certain checkpoints just to make it to the end. But this one is when you get certain checkpoints, you're earning cash again to build your cars or get upgrades. So, and there's a lot more content that I haven't even touched yet. And this game is only $10.
Mm.
And I thought for $10 with all this content, it may not be, up there as when you go in there, it may not be up there with your need for speed type things. Because you can tell why you're paying $60 for that. But for $10, there's still a ton of content here, and some of the lines in the campaign are a little bit cheesy, but still, again, I'm having fun with it. I have fun with racing games, and I think for $10, this is a great indie race game for the money. So again, that's CarX Highway Racing.
Yeah, this is actually their second game. They had a CarX Drift Racing online that came out almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, and they've actually their CarX series of games are also out on mobile. So if you don't want to play this on your Switch, you can also play it out on Android or iPhone, or Apple, I should say. And they have a wide range of CarX series of games besides that drift game on those. And this one, particularly the Highway Racing, CarX Highway Racing, has, from what we've been told, I didn't research it to see if it's true, is they've had millions of downloads on their games in the Android and Apple Play area. So seems pretty popular on mobile, and it plays pretty well for being on a console for $10, like I said, and you get a lot of content. That's what I've been playing.
Cool. Jesse, what about you, buddy?
Right, so I finished the Pixel Cross Story of Seasons, so that is 100% done. And then I picked up Picross S Plus, and I knocked out all the bonus puzzles first. So that was about 60 or 70 of those. And then started with the E1 games. There's like 300 of those. So again, it'll take me a while to get through those. I also finally got back to playing Persona 3 Reload. So I think when I stopped playing, I got to the end of the first section of Tartarus, and couldn't advance until after I did the Maze Full Moon event. So I did Maze Full Moon event, so I was able to get into the next section. In the original game, there wasn't any visual difference in the sections. It was just an indication of, all right, the enemies are going to be harder. They're going to change their spawn cycles, and they'll have higher levels. But in this version of the game, it is visually distinct from section to section. So I kind of like that, because the original games the dungeon layout got kind of boring, very angular and square. But this one now adds a lot of turns and curves. And they're still basically dynamically generated out of pieces, but at least the pieces are different from section to section. I'm about halfway through it. I'm near the end of May now, so I think the next full moon is June 6th. I'm hoping to get to the end of the second section before that. But I'm at a mini boss that has no weaknesses. So I think I attempted it and failed. So I think I have to just grind up levels, because I don't have all of my characters has their base spell, low level spell, and the group form of the low level spell, which is useless when there's only one opponent. But I think in order to have the DPS high enough to kill it before it kills me, I have to have that second ranking of spells, which means I have to level everyone up to whatever level that is. So I've kind of in a grinding pattern now in the low 40s in Tartarus. So hopefully I can get past that this weekend. So that's what I've been playing.
Nice. So yeah, I'm playing Balatro, however you say it. And I don't think there's anything really else that I can say about it here that hasn't already been said by Jesse and Tim, other than it is absolutely one of the most addictive games I've ever played. And
Right?
I like hearing you guys talk about it, and even seeing people play it, or seeing people talk about it. I think for me, there was totally a fear of, I don't know poker. So it felt like it would be too technical and too pokery for me.
Mhm.
But it does a really good job of teaching you how to play the game. And I found this out because you get if you're a PlayStation Plus member and you have the tier that does game trials, they give you an hour with the game on PlayStation.
Nice.
And so I was like, you know what? I got a free hour with it. I'm going to try it out. And I played every minute of it. In fact, every minute of it was my first run. I got all the way up to ante 5 out of 8
Nice.
the very first time I played. So, which it loaded me up with really good cards. It was the tutorial.
Nice.
Yeah. So like it was enough that I said this. I was like, I put it in the Discord. I was like, well, I think Balatro got its hooks in me this morning, thanks to a PlayStation trial. And it did. So I went and bought it on Switch, and now that's where I'm playing it. I love it. It's so easy. Like it's that perfect type of game that you can go and just sink a couple of rounds into it before bed. There's not like you don't have to worry about story progression and different things like that. I'm loving all the little unlocks. I do want to ask you and Jesse, Tim, have you gotten the Rocket card yet? The Rocket Joker.
What's it do?
So the Rocket Joker starts at every round that you finish, every blind that you finish, it gives you $3. But every time you beat the boss blind, it adds $2 to that.
Yes,
So,
I've seen it, but I never used it.
so I got the foil version of that.
Oh, so you got
Full.
additional
So
things.
it had that plus a 10 multiplier
Yes.
for every card or for
Plus,
every
plus
play.
10 multiplier. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a 10 mult. So I was like, I made it to where I was doing like 4,000 or 6,000 chips per play
Yeah.
because I had all these other jokers that were like cascading off of each other. And that's like, I was like, this is like nourishing to my soul. I get it. I get the hype.
Right.
I like this it may be too soon. This may be like on my game of the year.
No,
thing. No,
get out of here. Get out of here. You're not putting Prince of Persia on there. You're putting poker. Get out of here. You fake gamer.
No, I think that is well deserving because that game, it's
yeah.
for sure.
Also, so I won't spend any more time on that. Lots of people playing it. Lots of people know how good it is. It is Marty approved. All right. It says my stamp of approval.
Now you got to submit your stats to Monthly Mayhem.
I don't want to. I hate competing. I lose. I
know I'm not winning. I'm just having fun putting it in there. So.
Up on our channel, I've got 2 videos for some games that have come out this week. Metal Mind is a brand new roguelike for the Switch where you play a robot who is trying to escape a factory of other robots who have been turned against him. And this is a unique take on it in that you can change parts of your robot out as you play. So like when you get when you finish each room, you get treasure chests. So a lot of them are money that you can use to buy things or unlock permanent upgrades. Some of them are like a new head or a new ambulatory unit or a new like new arms or different things that you can add to it. And so that there's that element to it, but there's also a Skyrim-esque weight limit for your robot that it can only, like, the more it weighs, the slower it moves. And so I think that, like, I really enjoyed the aesthetics of the game and the music. It doesn't play all that smooth. It's really difficult. Like even just from the very beginning, the hitbox for your robot feels really disproportionate. It feels really big because like you have like, I guess your body has like so much it can take, and then your robot's health starts going down, and that can change based on how you augment your robot. And it just felt like the enemies could hit you from anywhere. And again, you can be slow, and some of the weapons, like, they're not that great. But if you're a roguelike fan and you're looking for a challenge, that one may be for you. This next game, I don't know about this. All right. So if you want to hear me mispronounce a game name the entire time I do a video, you go watch this video. Is for a game called The Unables. And every time I mention it in the video, I called it Unables. Because
I see that as Unables as well.
Yeah, it's all in caps, and I didn't get it. So literally the story of this game is that everyone on the earth has become so lazy that they're unable to do anything. So you have to tilt the earth and tilt these all these rooms and things in order to get the people who are unable to do anything to work or get the job done or get stuff made or all kinds. So it's like a physics puzzle. But there's also like commentary as it's going on, and you can also cause your person to fart, and it propels them through the air. Yeah, it's unique. I would encourage you to go, if like that sounds like, if physics puzzlers are your thing, then, or you're intrigued by this game, go watch the video. I had a few problems with it. The objectives are not really clear, and there's 2 modes for the game. There's easy mode and hard mode. And really what it should be called is easy and normal, because normal is the only way, hard is the only way you can progress through the game. You get a time limit for each level, and you have to secure all the objectives and get stars enough to unlock the next level before you move on, right? Easy is just like practice, but it makes it sound like you could go through on easy, but oh no. So on the video, you'll see me play the original level 3 times. Once for the tutorial, once for easy, and once for hard. And I stopped about the 3rd level because there's no clue as to what to do next. It's like 2 detectives are investigating a murder, and you have to find the dead body. And the way that you do that is by turning the entire piece over, and the dead body flies out of the trash can. And then you must manipulate the dead body onto the chalk outline. And there's other things moving, and they don't explain what you're doing with those things. There's just yellow boxes around your objectives with no help. And you've got like 45 seconds to do this. So it's weird. It's just weird enough that I'll go back and play, keep playing it. Like it's quirky, it's new, it's fresh. What I didn't like about it is that like sometimes, like when you tilt the landscape that you're on, all you're looking at is the bottom of it. So you can't see what your characters are doing. You can't see what the pieces are doing. And that's frustrating. So it may be for you, it may not. It's out on Nintendo Switch right now, the Unables. And also I'm still plugging away at Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm about in chapter 8-ish. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to play it this week. But I'm looking forward to getting back into it tomorrow, and hope to finish it here soon.
So you're playing which one? Remake, you said?
Remake, the first one. I gave up way back in the day when it came out. It was not what I wanted, but now I kind of am giving it another chance, and I'm enjoying it. Someone from our community told me about classic mode, where it's more like a turn-based or active time battle, and that has helped.
Oh, okay. I didn't know I had
immensely.
that.
Yes. And you
Nice.
can do classic, and you can also do classic easy, which makes the game, you're just basically playing the story and mashing buttons, and I'm okay with that. I'm at
Nice.
that. I'm in that. That's the era that I'm in.
Right.
Yeah. So, that's all of our what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight.
So shout out to everybody who stopped by so far tonight. We had a lot of people stop through or come on through and stop in and say hi and make comments about what we've been playing. So that's pretty cool. And also about our topics as well, not just what we've been playing. But Michael Burgett and Mecha Dragon, Miz, who else stopped in here? We got it's hard to keep up with you guys. Hambone stopped in.
Yeah, Defunci Lucio,
Infrendo.
Tyrannos.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm scrolling back. I'm going back for you. So Steve Cullum.
Yes, Steve.
You mentioned Mecca, Jesse.
Yeah, some guy. Jesse, he's always showing up.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always popping up there. He's
right.
Like I said, Hambone, Darth Platypus.
Yes.
Lots of good friends. Lots of good friends.
Thank you always for stopping in and checking in on us. Make sure we're doing good here.
And even if you're not commenting, there's
a lot of lurkers there.
Great number. There are many people who are watching us.
Yes, huge,
Appreciate
huge
that.
number.
Huge number. Huge.
Especially there's people on there on Twitter that are watching too, and I don't think we can see their comments or anything like that.
Yeah,
Nope,
I
but
don't
they're-
know
Sure.
if they can comment.
Maybe they can't. Maybe they just watch
Nope.
over there. But if
I
you're
don't-
watching
I don't-
over there on Twitter or on X, let us know and sometime how it went. So curious. All right. Questions from Discord to begin. We've got Mecca who asks, it was found by data mining that Princess Peach Showtime was developed by Good Feel. Why do you think Nintendo likes to keep who made their games a secret?
That's Nintendo.
Because it's second party. It's basically in Nintendo's eyes. They're just like, we made it. That's all you need to know.
Nintendo owns Good Feel, right?
Yes.
Yes, and also we totally mentioned this on the show last week.
Yep. We did.
Totally said it's the same. It's Good Feel. It's the same people who made Yoshi's Crafted World and Yoshi's Woolly World, which is why it feels like those. And then we talked about how they also made Kirby's Epic Yarn, and somebody said, "I've never played Kirby's Epic Yarn," and I said, "Yes, that's a fantastic game. You totally should."
Exactly. Yep. But the question was mainly just, why wasn't Nintendo forthcoming with that information? It seems like you had to dig for it. So, which is, like I said, Nintendo, they own them. So it's like, that's just another name for their development group that made their game.
They've gone to Nintendo. That's
Yeah.
what happens.
Nintendo made it. So, but that's what the credits are for as well. I think somebody put that out there too, or Nintendo put that out, right? They said, when the game comes out, you can see who made it, and then you'll see it in the credits. And then you can shout them out on Twitter or X or whatever. So, all right. Chris HL94 asks, with the multiple television and film adaptations of video game IP, I'd like to know what you have enjoyed the most so far. What are you most looking forward to?
I've enjoyed The Last of Us. I thought that was fantastic. The Mario movie I thought was really good. I'm definitely looking forward to the Fallout series on Amazon coming out next month.
I'm looking forward to that one.
In season 2 of The Last of Us. So yeah, those are kind of the ones that stand out the most for me, obviously.
I mean, I think for me, the Mario movie is the easy answer, but I'm going to say Castlevania, the anime on Netflix.
That's
very, very
where
good.
I was going to go.
Very, very good.
I need to finish watching the newest season. I don't think I ever
Is that
did.
Nocturne or Nocturnal?
Yeah. With
I haven't
Richter?
finished that one either.
Jim, do you have an answer?
For what?
What?
Sorry, I thought you guys were talking about Castlevania.
Yeah, we just finished.
Oh, I thought did you say something?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Last
sorry.
of Us, yeah.
Sorry, I'm multitasking, trying to answer questions in other areas. So, all right. Next question is, what games would you love to play for the first time again with no knowledge of your previous playthrough? There are many, but 2 on my list would be Celeste and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
That's
I've mentioned it once before in this episode, but I think my answer would be Persona 4. I think of the 3 Personas that I've played, I think 4 is my favorite. 5 is really good still, but I think I've always liked 4 a little bit more.
For me, it would be Inscription.
Okay.
Sorry, what was the question?
Doki Doki Literature Club was
What
Right.
game would you like to replay with like no knowledge of what happens? Like go back in time and replay this game.
Mario Wonder. Or sorry, I apologize, Mario Odyssey.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
2 that came to mind for me, Final Fantasy VII, and also Link to the Past.
Nice. Yeah, Link to the Past would be a good one too, sure. Although I haven't played it in a long time, so I might it's one of those things where I'll start remembering things as I play it. So, but yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So okay, good one. Good choices. Alan, look to the cookie asks two questions. Do you try and finish every game you play, even if you don't like it? And if not, what percentage of games would you estimate you don't finish because you don't like it?
I think that's a tough. I've gotten to like that's a tough. Oh man, that's a tough question, right? I think I think at different points in our career as in Nintendo dads, like us not finishing a game was more common than not, right? Because
Mhm.
we are having so much access to content. I think now the way I look at it is I'm more apt to say like I will take content that I know I'm really interested in, I will most likely finish and play. Right. I think last year was a big change for me for that. And even this year, right? I've already finished Prince of Persia and slowly working my way through some other games. So I don't know if it's ever like I drop off because I don't enjoy a game because I will typically do a lot of research about a game. I will typically look at reviews and I will kind of commit through. I usually stop playing because another game comes up. Like that's what happens, right? Like, hey, what's the this is this is the hot thing I'm gonna play for 2 weeks because that's where our conversation is. Now a new game drops that I'm interested. Okay, I guess that's where my conversation is gonna go now. So now I spend my time on that. So it's not for a lack of dislike. I think it's for a lack of time management, which then means like your backlog is just abundant and stupid.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
I agree with that because it's been more what's going to hold my interest. If something else shiny comes along and it's taking me away and I don't go back and I keep continuing to go forward, that means that game probably there's something about that game that's not holding my interest. And it's probably a good clue for whoever is listening to pay attention and say, okay, he's not continuing that. Why is that? Maybe it is something nice. But if you also been listening in the games I have been playing or I said I rolled credits on is because that game did hold my attention or I wanted to finish it. Like
Mhm.
say Sea of Stars. Like I'll be like, I had to go back to it. I had to go finish it. And then I did that. Or Fire Emblem Engaged. You know, those longer games do take time. And I've learned to try to stay away from those because I know I'm more than likely going to step away. Like the Unicorn Overlord. I'm like, I want to play that so bad, but I know I'm probably going to drop off of it. So I'm just like, I'm probably going to hold off and I'm going to wait for that time when I know I can pick up a game and actually finish it.
Yeah. I think the other part of it that I would just and it's okay. It's okay to like not it's okay not to finish a game if you don't like it, right? Like your time is critical. You only have so much of it. So if you are,
Mhm.
it's like a show, right? Like how many times have you started watching a show on Netflix and you're like, yeah, it didn't grab me after three episodes, so I'm out. There's this weird like sunken time cost analysis that we put into video games because typically the price tag is higher than other media, right? Like, I've paid my $15 or $20 to Netflix. I get through a couple episodes, I don't like it. Cool, I got everything else, right? But I think when you're like, hey, I bought an $80 game and I need to get out a return of investment of time in it, right? So, but I do think like, hey, if you're like grinding through something, you're not enjoying it, and it could be a lot of things. It could be like the season you're in right now, right? Like there are other times, there's been times I'm like, man, I'm so excited for this game, and then I get like it covers a couple of hours into it. I'm like, yeah, this isn't holding me anymore. And I don't want to like, it's kind of like, hey, I'm gonna go to the table. This food is not great, but I'm gonna eat it because I paid for like, do you know what I mean? You're like, now
Yeah.
Right.
you're just punishing yourself. You're making yourself sick. Like, don't do
So,
that.
like, to answer the question for me, there's not very many games that I don't finish because I don't like them. Uh, if I don't like them, they don't remain on my Switch. Okay.
Mm,
So, without naming any games, there are definitely games that I do first looks of and immediately delete. All right. That's because I don't like them or they're not for me. So it's not so much that I don't finish. Like for me, the games that I get into that I then abandon and don't finish, it's because I'm on to something else. Either I'm having to review something else for first looks or let's play, or there's another game that's come out that has caught my attention.
But you have gone back to something too.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I'll go back. There are games that I'll go back to. Like I was just about to mention Donkey Kong, Mario versus Donkey Kong. I'm in the post game content of that, and I like it didn't grab me enough that I like it grabbed me enough to finish the main game, right? And so now I know at some point I'll have to go back to that, but the odds of me doing that are decreasing as new games release.
Yes.
But I'm okay with that because I feel like I've gotten my worth out of that game. You know, like I beat it. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being right there. But I do not finish every game I play. No, there's no way. Like
Right.
I counted it up one time and I think that there was something like 20 or 24 lines of 6 games each on my Switch. And that's what I buy and what we get as codes, has fueled that. And there's so many more that are on the eShop that I can go re-download at any time, right? That don't exist locally on my Switch anymore. So no, there's no way I can finish every game I play.
Right.
That's just counting Switch. That's not counting PlayStation.
Right.
I think most games, I'll know within the first half hour or an hour if it's something that I want to put effort into or just say nope. Like multiple games where I couldn't even get past the tutorial. Final Fantasy 15 is an example of that. Or I played the demo and I may have I liked the Final Fantasy 16 demo, but I knew that I didn't want to do that for the next 80 hours.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was good for 2 hours, but I didn't want to do it for how much more. And some games, don't even last 10 minutes. There are some games that, like Xenoblade Chronicles and The Last Story, where I probably got 2 or 3 hours in before I got to a stuck point. And with The Last Story, it was literally a tutorial moment that I completely went over my head. I didn't understand what it was trying to teach me, and it wouldn't explain it to me again, so I just kept on losing the battle. I'm like, okay, I guess I'm done.
Nice.
My only alternative was to start over again.
Nice. All right. That was a good conversation there too. So next on to Solo's question. Follow up to above to Alan's question. In the don't finish category, how often have you gone to YouTube to watch the video of the ending to get the wrap up? And after seeing it in the latter, do you go back still or take it viewed and moved on?
I think I've only ever done this once. And that was at the end of Arkham Knight, where I wasn't going to 100% the Riddler puzzles to get the best ending. So I just watched that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Normally, if I stop a game, I don't care.
I've never watched an ending on YouTube for a game. But what I have done is I have happily gone to YouTube for tutorials, right? Like, man, I'm stuck in this area. What the heck am I missing? Right. And okay, there's a chapter. I'll go take a look at it. Oh, it's that one thing. Shoot. Right. And then usually what I'll do is I'll like pause, jump back in the game, go get that thing, and then, try and progressively, then I'll be like, and I'm going to save this channel. Because if I get stuck again, I'm going back to you again. Right.
That's kind of how I found Game Explain back in 2011, 2012 is, the Mario 3D Land, where to find all the shinies.
Yep.
Yep. I've gone to YouTube for walkthroughs, but I prefer more of the, the website ones because then I can read and kind of see what's going on. But if I get really stuck, I will go to YouTube and watch somebody do it if I get stuck on something. I've gone to a game that I've beaten and I wanted to know everything more about it. So I go to YouTube and watch everything I can learn, like Inscription, like, ooh, there's this video or that video, especially when Jesse was sharing all those videos between that and the other one.
I think my favorite of that series was the explanation of the ARG.
Yeah. And or the other game you like, Jesse, too, when you were showing the videos for those, the diary one. It's a diary. No. Shoot. I'm drawing a blank
Which
right
one?
now. So the other one you liked a lot that you kept trying to get Zach to play, and
Oh,
I
yeah,
played.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, Literature Club. Sorry. So that's the one I couldn't think of off the top of my head. So, but most recently, I have gone to watch an ending to a game because we talked about this before. It felt samey to me because I just got off the other one, was Breath of the Wild, and I was going into Tears of the Kingdom, and I just was like, I just want to see the ending. So I did. I went and watched it. Probably not as rewarding as playing through it and seeing it, but I eventually probably will go still play it. But because I like that world. I like being in that world, but I just was not feeling it at the time after just finishing Breath of the Wild. So yes, I did go watch the ending on YouTube. So great question.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Quagmire asks, how do you eat your leftover pizza? You don't have time to use the oven or toaster oven. So do you microwave it or eat it cold?
Cold.
And why is the answer eat it cold?
Yeah, cold is the only way to eat
Cold is the
leftover
only way to eat
pizza.
that.
Grab it out of the box.
I sometimes argue that like cold should almost be where it just starts. Do you mean like cold pizza, day 2 cold pizza is almost better than just hot, fresh pizza? Is at least my belief.
It depends on the toppings, I guess, on that one.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, yes, it absolutely does. Because I don't know, but there is something magical that happens to Italian food the overnight, like lasagna. I know it's not pizza, but lasagna is always better the day after it's been cooked. Spaghetti is always better the day after it's been cooked. My theory is it has time to sit and set up and marinate in its own juices and stuff, and it just gives you a better bite.
Yeah, because if you ever read the directions on cooking a lasagna, it's supposed to sit like 15 to 20 minutes. Who does that?
No, nobody.
They dive right in.
At our house,
then it slides all over the plate.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, I'm burning the roof off my mouth.
Right.
You know, because
I can't taste anything anymore because I burnt my taste buds off my tongue.
Yeah.
All right. The next question is for you, Marty. If you had a chance to take a look at the news and the takes on WWE 2K24 and what your thoughts are those.
Yeah. So usually I would be jumping straight into this. And it looks great. Like I think it's everything that I've seen, it looks like the pinnacle of like 2K has finally got it. They've like done a great amount of work on this game and really nailed it. I'm not doing WWE, man. The Vince thing has just kind of, that's like the nail in the coffin for me.
Yep.
And so, you know, I'm not gonna begrudge anybody who wants to do that, like watch and play WWE games or watch the show. But that's just like, do I wish that AEW Fight Forever was like 2K24? Absolutely. Tons of limitations, but I think that the models look amazing. The gameplay looks fantastic. I've watched some like matches, and just seeing what the roster's like and everything. And I wish that was something I felt like I could do, but it's just, I don't know. It's like when all that Vince McMahon stuff came out, I was like, I'm not ever going to give them any more money.
Yeah, that was left a sour taste in your mouth for sure.
Like, I don't know. And I know it's not all about him, but
he thinks it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like you have to draw a line somewhere.
Still waiting for the rest of that to shake out, but we'll see what happens.
There was more stuff that came out about that this week, like as to who knew what happened, and it's not good. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. There's going to be a lot more still coming out about all that.
It's
so
gross.
It is very gross. All right.
Anyway.
Next question is from Patreon, David. Mario has March 10, but what other Nintendo franchise or character deserves their own day? What day would you schedule it on, and how should we celebrate? He suggests King Boo deserves his own holiday show time sometime around Halloween, Boo Boo Day, where we make scary faces and walk into each other unless you're looking directly at someone's face.
Sounds like the day you need to apply an adhesive bandage.
Boo Boo Day.
He would
I
love
love
to
it.
hear our thoughts.
You know, Ninfriendo in the chat reminds us this. Luigi got a whole year.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
only a year.
But only 1 year. Mario gets a day every year. Luigi gets nothing.
Right.
I would be okay with Bowser Day. I think we need a Bowser Day.
Nice.
That the day to celebrate the day Doug Bowser got hired or got promoted.
No, I was mainly thinking that the patriarch of the family got to sit around while his army served him all day. That I don't know.
Or is that the anniversary of when the other Bowser got fined $10 million?
Oh yeah. What about you guys? Who from Nintendo gets a day?
Single day.
I'm playing with the names here.
Single day.
Mario just fits so well because of MAR is for March, and then 10 IO, is Mario. So
I guess if you're from Canada, or from the Northeast, you could have May 10th too, and have Mario Day.
Mario Day.
Mario, yes.
Super Mario.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to come up with something else for some. I mean, I would try to do something for Samus but I can't think of what month I could do Sam in. Samtember.
Yeah.
Samtember.
Metroid May.
Metroid May. Yeah.
Metroid May. I like it.
There we go. All right. I think we've heard our brains enough, but not enough. Not enough.
What?
Mecca wants to challenge you all to Pi Day Challenge. Let's see which dad can name more numbers from pi without looking. Beyond the 3.14.
0.
I know. I can go 7.
Let's
for it. Let's hear it, Jesse.
3.1415926.
All right. I believe you. I'm not going to check it.
Winner, chicken dinner.
And a fun question about pi. How good are the dads when it comes to figuring out the circumference of a circle?
It's not something I do often, but I have a large mathematical background. That's why I have 7 digits of pi stored in my head.
So Jesse wins this challenge. That is no surprise here. So before we end out the night, let's listen to our voicemail from Christian.
Hey, Nintendo Dads, it's me, Christian. I hope everything is going well for you guys. I had 2 questions. One's a non-Tendo and one's a Nintendo. All right, so my first question is, I've been playing the Spider-Man game. I finally beat it, and I 100%ed the entire game, so I got all the trophies. But my problem that I'm having with the game is I feel like they've made the protagonists for the game, Peter and Miles, I don't know, it feels like they're just like a weaker character. And it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not sure if it's just my own feelings or if you guys had experienced the same thing. I know Marty is a I know Marty is a Marvel fan and he plays these type of games too. So maybe Marty, you might have more insight. But maybe you guys can tell me your experiences on the Spider-Man game. Do you feel like they made Peter Parker weaker or just less of a Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2? Second question is, I'm also playing Hogwarts Legacy, and I love that game, but the problem I'm having with that is there's just too much stuff to do, and I forget every time, whenever I do like a main story beat, what the story really is all about. Like, I completely forget about it because I'm doing everything else, and I'm like, what am I even doing? Anyways, give me your opinions on that, too. All right, hope you guys are having a great day. We'll talk to you later. See ya.
That's why I love journals in games that keep track of what you're doing, and I thought Hogwarts had that. But I haven't played it in a while, so I don't remember.
So I ran into the same problem playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay.
Honestly, that game doesn't even need a story. They should have just called it Harry Potter Simulator and just been done with it.
right?
because the story is not great to begin with. And
I thought it started out pretty well. Again,
it did, but it devolved into the same old bullcrap every
does
AAA
it?
game does. Go here and get this thing and unravel the mystery. And oh, it's somebody bad and they're pulling the strings behind the scenes. And that,
Shocker.
yeah. and so that, like, maybe that's why I fell off with that game, but it's on my list of games to circle back to as well, because that's actually a game that me and my wife would sit and play together. Like
Right.
she would help because she loves Harry Potter. I do too. And she would watch and we would we just got distracted from it. And speaking of the Spider-Man thing, um, maybe I'm not understanding exactly what Christian was asking, but it's like, was he saying that Miles seems weaker than Peter, or Peter seems weaker than
He
Miles?
said they were both weaker. He said it seemed like they were
Weaker
both
than what? The original game?
weaker than the original game. Maybe what I got out of it was, and I didn't play neither one of these, so but or all three, any of them. But what I got out of it is it seemed like the characters were weaker than where you guys left off in the trilogy.
Well, yeah, because I mean they have to have a game where you have progression. But by the end of Spider-Man 2, I felt like a one-man spider army. I don't know, maybe like I did not mean to, but when I beat the game, I was sitting at 82% complete. Then that's because I had done so many side quests leading up to the actual finishing of it. So, but I will say there's some things there at the end of the game, without getting into spoilers, where the enemies can be just overwhelming and it can be a little too much. But that's why they give you all the gadgets. And that's like my big like hang up with the game that I finally overcame, because my son would sit and watch me playing. He goes, Dad, you're not using your spider powers, you're not using your gadgets. And he was exactly right. You can't just go in and fight like bare knuckle. Like, you've got to use all your gadgets and use up your spider powers. And it's got, by the end of the game, it's like you've got to use it all up every fight, because there's stuff coming at you from everywhere. And it can get a little overwhelming. I thought, story-wise, that Peter and Miles were both very well portrayed in that whole trilogy of games. It's been some of my favorite Spider-Man media. There's some things that I go, but for the most part, they did a really good job sticking to the source material without making it like Spider-Man overly weak or overly powerful. If that felt like there were weight to the moments and the story beats. And so I don't know. I think just, it's going to hit different for different people.
Nice. Well, hopefully that answers his question, and
Yeah.
that's it for our community questions.
And
We actually have one more that actually came via Twitter DM.
okay.
This is from Funchy Bunch. Hello, dads. If you guys were in a beat 'em up brawler, what screen swipe super would be? What would your screen wiping super be? Samus coming out to help you with a big beam, or a giant maple syrup bottle falling from the skies on your foes? So mine would definitely be maple syrup drizzling from the top and just mooses running across. And it would just be maple syrup mooses. And that would
And it
just
would
be
say
my,
Maple
that would,
syrup
and that
mousse.
would, and then you're like in the background, just a slight twinge of Oh Canada beginning. Do you know what I mean? And that would sort of be the finisher. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine apparently is the digits of pi will just wipe everyone out.
Yeah. That's a good one. I like that.
You just shout all the digits and they blow up across the screen. I love
There you
it.
go.
Tim?
I would say that here's an idea, and Marty, of course, you can have whatever you want, but I think Samus is a great idea, and I will roll with that. But I think our moves can be combined, and if we combine our powers together, Marty, that Samus and Mega Man come out and use their arm blasters and totally annihilate whatever's on screen, I think that would be freaking awesome.
By your powers combined, I am Captain Nintendo Dad. Captain Nintendo Dad, he's a hero. Whoa, we just went down memory lane. I was actually going to suggest for you, Tim, you would just take the top of your hat off and reveal whatever shadowy entity is living there.
Yes.
And it would just destroy everything on the screen. If I had one,
it's Voldemort. He was under there.
If I had one that was just me, it would be to pull out a giant sword made out of bacon and slice everything on the screen in half and then eat said bacon sword.
Awesome.
Yep. Or just taco bombs, which could go lots of ways.
I have a pretty good size forehead if I take this off. So I think it being shiny would shine light across and totally, blind people. And then you guys could beat them up because they were blind.
This has got an old, you remember the old Teen Girl Squad from Strong Bad, and they would always have something like Walrus or something like Tim's is like 5-handed.
Yeah, see?
I think Tim's is, it looks like he throws a cap, but the cap never, it's just different color caps.
It's just all my different
hats on hats.
Every palette swap of Tim in the game is just him in a different hat.
Yeah.
Correct.
I love it. Somebody out
too.
there making Nintendo Dads beat them up, please. That would be fantastic. The final boss is I don't know. It's no, final boss is Sean Capri. I don't know. Beat Sean Capri up at the end. Sean Capri with wings and a giant sword. I don't know. This is slowly going off the rails, or probably quickly. And so we're going to close out the show. Thanks for hanging with us for episode 469 of the Nintendo Dads podcast. As we close out the show, we want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Jacqueline Amira, RJ Kern, as well as our 90 plus other patrons who keep the lights on here at Nintendo Dads HQ and keep this train rolling. Also, a special thank you to 19 of you who subscribe to us via Twitch Prime and over 1,400 Twitch followers. And shout out to our over 7,300, approaching 7,400 YouTube subscribers. Why do we do all that? Why do we say these things? Here's why. Because we say thank you to each and every one of you who has made all of this possible. We would not be here without you. We would not be able to celebrate later this year 10 years of podcasting if it was not for you. And so thank you guys for every second that you spend listening to the podcast, watching a video, doing whatever. We super appreciate you. You can go over to our website, nintendodads.org, and check out our Spotify podcast feeds for our other shows like Dads After Dark and the Retro Logic family of podcasts, Retro Logic, On Topic Retro, Retro Groove, and Film Logic. Also, our latest YouTube videos and tweets and links to all of our social media and merch over there at nintendodads.org. And listen, don't forget to check out our sponsors who help us out too. Manscaped.com. You can go over and get 20% off your Manscaped order and free shipping with the code NINDADS. That's NINDADS. Also, check out some yummy protein-filled meals from factormeals.com. 50% off your first order with the code NINDADS50. That's NINDADS 50. Go check them out. You can contact us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in like Christian and leave a voicemail, 929-25-NDADS, 929-256-3237. You've got just a couple of shows left to call and leave us a voicemail by March 31st, and we'll enter you into a drawing to win the Impact of Iwata book signed by Lucas M. Thomas, the author, from Nintendo Force. If you're a first-time voicemail caller, let us know in your message, and you'll be entered twice in the drawing for that book. It's a really cool prize, so be sure to do that. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. And reminder, download us from your favorite podcast app of choice, the audio version. If you watch here, go ahead and download it anyway. Subscribe. Helps pump the numbers up, but also leave us a 5-star review and some comments. It helps people find the show. And hey, when you share, you care. Caring is sharing. Guys, this has been 469. So for me, for Justin, for Tim, and Jesse, we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening into Nintendo Dads.
Maple syrup mooses.
What's wrong with you?